I've always wondered about the community in Bee Swarm Simulator. I wanted to know what they think about Bee Swarm as a game. Is it good? Bad? I guess we'll never know unless we ask. So, to finally answer my question, I decided to interview 20 different Bee Swarm YouTubers ranging from a couple thousand subscribers all the way to over 100,000 subscribers. And you don't want to miss anything they say. With that out of the way, let's get on to the video. But wait, you all are probably wondering, well, why are you interviewing the YouTubers out of all players? Well, I believe the YouTubers see things that normal players or maybe even pros don't see. But you are also asking yourself, well, how are you gonna interview all of these YouTubers if you have no questions to ask? So I came up with these 5 questions that are shown on screen that I will ask to each YouTuber. So now you know all the information, it's time to start the interview process. I'll start interviewing with YouTubers with not that many subscribers. Then the next YouTuber will have more than the previous, and this cycle will lead up to the interview with one of the biggest creators in Bee Swarm Simulator. But before that, let's start with the first person, Xuairi. The response they gave is very interesting, so I'll quickly explain it. Xuairi is a former Bee Swarm pro who is the 3rd person to max the digital bee, the first and only person who maxed the digital bee twice, and has done many record-breaking boosts. The main points they said was that Bee Swarm is very addicting since you can't beat the game, but the main problem is that it's way too laggy. So their solution was to fix the lag issue and add in the missing Dapper Bear quests. Other than that, they like Bee Swarm as a game and also doesn't think anything bad about on its upload schedule. Richewstew is up next and he makes some really good points, so he'll go ahead and explain them.
Alright, so my name is Richewstew. I've been making Bee Swarm content for probably about 2 years now. And then I got to level 21 Hive before I quit about a month ago. Well, I'd say some pros is that you're going to meet some people that will change your life in a good way, obviously, because it's a pro. If you're not a top player, you're not going to feel pressure becoming better and better. Well, I think it's a pretty solid game. I mean, considering on how long it's been out. It came out in 2017, 5 and 8-year-old game, and it is still thriving to this day. I feel like that is pretty successful. Onnit's been able to keep Bee Swarm in the loop for the majority of the years. Kudos to him for that, because that's extremely hard to do.
Very interesting points. Like he said, Bee Swarm is very relaxing, but the con that wasn't mentioned was that it's really hard to keep up with the new updates if you are a pro player, since it could be really stressful. Richewstew also mentioned that he would like to see a new 40B zone and the endgame backpacks that Onnit mentioned years ago. But now it's time to see a new perspective by the name of SPP Plays.
So I actually started YouTube back in I think August of 2024. I got my inspiration from Bee Swarm guy because I saw the guides he did. It looked very interesting, so I say, hey, let's just do it by myself. And then I basically just went from there. I'm gonna start off with the cons first. Obviously everyone probably think of this, but it's probably like the lack of updates recently, like for this Beesmas. Okay, I'm going to the pros now because I don't really have that much cons. It's a really great game. I just think when you grind so hard to get an item, like say the Tide Popper, like Gummy Boots, the feeling of just clicking craft item, it's like just so satisfying. And you see that, and you have those abilities, you have that gear. It just like, it's awesome, dude. Another bee zone, so many new mythic bees, abilities, gear. I have like maybe 30 plus ideas and like transcripts of what, if I was on it, what I would add. Like my overall thoughts about Bee Swarm Simulator in total. Okay, first of all, this simulator is the best simulator in Roblox. It's engaging, it's so entertaining, barely pay to win. It's got decent content here and then. You actually get the feeling of, hey, wait, this is probably one of the best simulators in the entire Roblox community.
Thank you, SPP Plays. The next person is WhiteHiveKing, so let's hear what he has to say.
So my name is WhiteHiveKing. Been playing since early 2020. Been on the all-time Honeymaker leaderboards for about 3 years, pretty much it. I think the pros are that there's a lot of things to do. You can never lose interest unless the repetitiveness of the game gets boring to you, but otherwise there's so many new things to do, including like boosting or doing quests or making new alt accounts. The biggest one is lack of updates from on it. Add new endgame items, slowly and then maybe add more stickers and stuff. But really, I'd rather like just make more updates in general to keep everybody happy. I think could be doing better, but I mean, it hasn't really died since this came out. It just continues to grow. People do quit, but new people join constantly, so it kind of balances it out.
Very interesting thoughts coming from the same YouTuber who is on the all-time honey making leaderboard. You wanna know who else is on the same leaderboard? Smarty66.
Alright, I'm Smarty, I'm a YouTuber, and I like making videos about Beastform and doing big projects. Alright, the pros are, it's pretty fun, it's grindy. If you have friends, it can be really entertaining. There is a decent amount of competition, which makes you want to play the game more. Macroing can help a lot. Cons, I would say, are, yeah, macroing, of course, because if you can't macro, then you're gonna progress way slower. And overall, the game is pretty grindy, so if you really want to get into it, good luck. I would revamp a hive system so you could have different saves. So let's say you can be red hive, white hive, and blue hive. You can just switch it, and I would also do that for the amulet, so it would be more fun to play. And maybe rework connectors and macroing, of course. I'd say the game is pretty good, but it's slowly dying out, which is pretty bad. Yeah, I guess it's a good game.
Up next is Mr. Sir, so let's see his response. Mr. Sir is the person who tends to make videos on deep topics about Beastform Simulator. One of the pros he said was that the RoboBear challenge is fun and enjoyable since you can't macro it. But one of the cons he mentioned was the nectar system. So he would like a reworked nectar system where planters grow faster, maintaining nectars are easier, and nectars have a short timer. He would also like more unique updates that involve active gameplay and not macroing. But he thinks that Beastform is in a hot mess since everyone on leaderboards have a higher advantage than others. People who macro have faster progression than people who don't macro, and it's quite repetitive. Very different answers from previous YouTubers. But what about someone else who makes lots of tutorials and guides and goes by the name of OLeafz? He says that Beastform is very unique unlike other simulators. The lack of content, updates, and the RNG involved impacts the game a lot. But he would like to see more content for endgame players involving new HQs, gear, and more. His overall thoughts about Beastform is that the game is very well made, but needs more updates, especially for late game players if it still wants to succeed. The next person is AG Gaming.
Hello, I am AG from the YouTube channel AG Gaming BSS. My content usually consists of Beastform Simulator, B-guides, or challenge videos or progressional videos. I think one of the biggest pros is the variety that the game has. I think lack of updates is a really big one, especially for content creators such as yourself and I. Personally, one of the biggest problems with me and Beastform Simulator is how macro reliant it is, and I don't like how it's very macro reliant. Well, overall I think it's a really fun game. I would argue the best simulator, and I think OLeafz has done a really good job making the game very balanced, as in the hive colors are all very fun to play individually in their own way.
Next up, let's hear what Professor Hystine has to say.
Hey, selamat sejahtera. My name is Professor Hystine. I am very new to the BSS community. I've played the game like literally 3 to 4 months ago. So my opinion may not hold as a kind of like a weight to it, a big value to like the other veteran Beastform Simulator player. So I'll say it is a pretty chill game, very fun, non-competitive, and extremely rewarding. While it is grindy and rewarding, but that is the issue. It is grindy. I'll say big disparity between the people who macro and the people who don't macro. Instead of making it less grindy, leveling up the playing field by adding macro on Beastform Simulator, reward the player by taking a rest, and also daily reward playing the game every single day. You're gonna get this material, you're gonna get this reward that might help you with boost or something like that. So I'll say, yeah, make it less grindy. I feel like the game is still fun. It's very rewarding. It's grindy, but I love it. Game definitely needs more updates. Definitely, yeah.
Next up is GGalaxy. Yes, his user says Jakes, but it's still GGalaxy.
Alright, my name is GGalaxy. The cons is it's a never-ending loop of you boosting, macroing, and so on. You can get really great connections, like make new friends and all that stuff. First of all, if I was on it, I wouldn't really be liking the game. I would just hire someone else to do something for me. All he has done is add 2 businesses, nothing much. My overall thoughts is, like, in my opinion, it can't be saved. Like, because, like, on it can add something, and then people will just get it in a month, and then people will just eventually quit. Like, it's a really awkward state Beastform is in.
Next up is Dzlem. Let's hear what he has to say.
Well, hello, my name is Dzlem and I make Roblox videos, specifically Beeswarm Simulator guides, and that's really all. Well, for the pros, it's the fact that just Beeswarm is a very free-to-win game, and one of the only simulators that has like a very active community. But for the cons, it's just that on it doesn't seem to have really ideas for the future updates, and more so in how the game just really lacks proper grinding, especially for mid-game, as it's really focusing on macro and doesn't help most people who just aren't able to macro. Honestly, just add new content that's usable by all game stages and it's not really disliked, and find a way to make macroing less forced to be used. I mean, it's really just enjoyable, just like the pros. Very active community. It feels like a retro game, has a lot of features that just don't make it boring and give you goals to keep playing. And it's not really repetitive in my opinion, it just feels like a fun game to hop on every time.
Next up is Master GB15, who is very famous for his Planter of Plenty documentary. He said that there are many pros, like there's always something to grind for, which might not be boring. Boosting is enjoyable since you could see yourself improve, and there's a lot of big numbers happening. But he does have many cons, like for example, lack of updates, the unbalanced hive colors, and the two obvious ones, very bad community and the game being macro heavy. But he does have some ideas like adding sets of gears every couple months, fixing precise marks and the gummy baller, and fixing some buffs. His overall thoughts about the game are that he thinks the game is slowly dying due to possibly having no major updates anymore, but the game is still in okay terms. The next person up is Pulsar, a new Beeswarm YouTuber. He says that Beeswarm is very different from other simulators due to the pay to win part, which is obviously a pro. But he says there's no cons other than the lack of updates Beeswarm gets. He also said if he was on it, he would get developers for more updates, add in a 40B zone, and add in a new boss of some sort. His overall thoughts about the game are that he thinks it's a good game since, like he said before, you can't pay to win Beeswarm. He did mention that the game is mostly filled with macro users, but doesn't think much since it's a part of the grind aspect. Speaking of new YouTubers, let's see what Pebble has to say.
Okay, my name is Matt. I'm also known as Pebble. I am a Beeswarm YouTuber known for my walkthroughs and I guess my trading challenges. I'd say the pros are that it's not really a replica of other simulator games. We also have a great solo developer who takes care of the game, which is Onnit. I really love how Onnit cares so much about his game, releasing like massive updates, beastmas, nerfs to balance colors, and yeah. For cons, I'd say that it takes way too long to progress in game if you don't have macro. When you're just playing in a phone, you will take so long to progress. Please, I'd get rid of stickers immediately. Get that out, please. I want that out. But other than that, I guess WhiteHQ, maybe another B zone would be nice. I mean, other Bs would be cool too, but I want a new B zone. That's it. I say to my videos that I don't like the game. The game's horrible, but like, overall, it's a great game. It's just your perspective. That's why I'm here making videos about it. If I think Beeswarm is trash, I would have not touched this game in forever, you know?
Alright, we've gone through most of the YouTubers, but now these next few YouTubers have over 10,000 subscribers, and one of them has even over 100,000 subscribers. But before we start interviewing them, I'd like to ask you to please like and subscribe, as this video took months to make, and I would really appreciate anything. Anyways, let's start with the first YouTuber, Shmeviously. He was a Beeswarm YouTuber who made videos about his progression and Beeswarm documentaries, who also lost the Gummy Baller and Tide Popper race. He said that Beeswarm is very rewarding when accomplishing goals, and it has many opportunities, but the game is really repetitive towards endgame, and there's really big update drops. If he was on it, he would get a dev team so Beeswarm could get more monthly active users, and he didn't really answer the last question, so it remains a mystery. Now, going back to the two races Shmev lost, let's now interview the winner of both of those races, Rexta V2.
So I am/was a BSS YouTuber, of course. I mainly live stream that competed with Shmeviously in 2 races and is what I'm most proud of today. So obviously the pros are that it is fun/was fun for me. Not many other pros I can think of other than macroing. I think the game is really balanced and Onnit's done a good job doing that. And the cons is that it's a Roblox game. If Beeswarm was like its separate game, I think I would play it a lot more. It would be much more advanced. Yeah, I feel like Roblox holds it back a lot. And another con I think we all know is the macro issue. Couldn't be bothered macroing, keeping my PC on all the time. To be honest, I have no developer brain inside me at all. Honestly, I don't know. That's one thing I can't answer. I've been quite negative already about the game, this interview, but my thoughts of the game have changed significantly. But I have lost my touch with BSS too. I do miss playing it and, you know, the community that I had. I do feel bad for sort of ditching them, but yeah, my thoughts of the game, I'm not interested in it anymore. Alright, so other thoughts is more so being like grateful for BSwarm. BSwarm has been a part of my teenage life. It's been my favorite game, but BSwarm has been great, and my interview, I don't want to sound ungrateful for everything, but I think it's been really great.
Next person up is NoobNotReal.
I'm NoobNotReal, and I'm mostly known for the 50 days challenge video. Pros: satisfaction of completing painful quests, helping out blue backpackers with their hive builds. The cons are rare updates, suffering that happens when questing, especially BBM. I would add PvP so you can like eliminate Mikey and become number 1. I've loved B-Game ever since it got released in 2018, and the rating hasn't gone down because the number of updates in 2024 compared to 2023 is higher, but we need the long-promised content like the new backpacks and Sun Bear quests. Subscribe, like, comment, share.
The next person is someone who we are all familiar with due to his documentaries, and that's Hero V2.
So I'm Hero. I play BSwarm and very occasionally make videos on BSwarm. You might have seen my documentaries. Alright, my pros. Lots of content. Now that can be debatable. Diverse community, which is also one of the cons because some of that community is really toxic. You can be more laid back or you can be more hands-on. So it's like you can choose how you want to play it. And then for cons, it is time consuming. Obviously you need to macro. The progression takes a long time to do. There's very long update droughts. So first of all, I would change the B-Equip storage system. I really hate it. I don't like that system. I also don't like that you even have to go to the storage. I think it should just be built into the case. Add dapper quests, you know, make the game more fair for everyone. Tweak red to be a little stronger and tweak white to be a little less luck-based. I would hire like a dev or two. And also, I would still stick to that 6-month update schedule because BSwarm, I don't think it can work if there's an update every single month. I have like a love-hate relationship with BSwarm. It's helped me a lot in my life, but also it's taken a lot of time. But I don't regret spending any of my time on BSwarm.
The next person up is Solar. If you don't know, his videos blew up due to BSwarm and then plans to try out different games on Roblox in the future. He said that BSwarm has lots of content and is very easy to learn, but he did say that it's time-consuming, has many infrequent updates, and a fluctuating YouTube community. And in both categories, he said it's addictive. He would want to focus on quality of assets and gameplay with a dev team, and similar with Hero, he has a love-hate relationship and doesn't want to continue playing it unless Onnit updates the game. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. After 19 other YouTubers, it's time for the interview with the one and only BSwarm Guide.
I'm BSwarm Guide. I originally started by making, as the name implies, BSwarm guides, but nowadays I mainly just, post on leaks, silly theories, and at this point, just whatever I want. I got to coordinate the charity event for St. Jude's. We raised over 10K. That was pretty cool. And as for right now, I just launched merch yesterday. Pros, we definitely have a really dedicated community, if that makes sense. I think it's just crazy how far we've gone into this and how deep we took it. I don't think Onnit meant for it to be this deep, but people have there's a full-on economy maxing out digital V drives and spending complete days just to get marginally better stats. I think we've definitely just done our best to push the game to its limit, and I think we've definitely succeeded. We haven't gotten the endgame backpacks or the endgame belts, but I think we've still done pretty well with what Onnit's given us. As for cons, I'd say more so the community age. Overall, I think the community is still a little young, and because of that, a little immature sometimes, and definitely impatient about updates. Hot take on one of our cons, the YouTube scene overall. I think honestly we need better videos and better content creators, and I think people are doing that now though. We've definitely gotten started in the last month or two making new stuff. People like me and Solar and you, we're basically just doing our best to try and make, and so I think that's what we've been lacking. I've always thought about this because I'm in the end, I feel I trust Onnit's judgment more than my own on what to add to BSwarm, because he's made this game like the way he wants, and that's what makes the game so amazing. If I specifically were on it, like if there's anything I wanted to see, more collaboration or like more community stuff that like makes players interact with each other, quality of life thing, a renewable way to get nectar shower vials, and choose your own mythic eggs. Overall, I think it's pretty well balanced. I know we were just talking about the Roblox. I like that system. Also, hive colors, I think they're well balanced too. And I've kind of touched on this in some of my videos, but like the hive color system is really cool. It's definitely a hardworking community, and there's a lot of like space. Obviously, Beeswarm Simulator is an amazing game. It's unlike any other simulator out there, and I think that's what created such a good community, and that's why it's lasted so long.
So after 20 different YouTubers have been interviewed, what is our opinion on Beeswarm? Well, Beeswarm is a great game. It has many pros and cons that can balance our love-hate relationship. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching my biggest project ever, and I'll see you all in the next video.